Onetv special report.
We use the cap. So all of our graduating students, those grade 6, we did not deploy them outside the school, but rather we have them inside the school. We require them about 10 to 20 baggings or plastic bags with seeds. So that is for our grade 6. For our grade 10, what we have done is we deploy them outside the school. But what we have done is we deploy them towards our mangrove nursery site at Malaubang and Pulot. We have 2 approved mangrove planting nursery sites. So what did happen in there is that if you will try to inspect our nursery at Malaubang, it's a very well-grown nursery because there are a lot of whitelings or mangroves that will be just falling in there. So what our grade 10 had done is that we require them once again to have 10 to 20 bags per student. But that one is not yet planting a tree, but rather growing a seed. For the tree for it to be used someday. Then for our LSTP, the first year and the second year, we require them with the planting of big trees, both mangroves that are already grown that is about 1 meter. So if our planted mangrove in the nursery will now be about 1 meter in height, so what we have done is those first year NSTP student and second year NSTP student will plant that one along the shoreline of the Panguil Bay. But it is not only the shoreline of Panguil Bay, and I think the Coast Guard can also, the DNR can attest that one, that we are also planting that one along Clarin. Along, I don't know the site, what's it? The La Paz Clarin. So we do it in that manner. And then, De La Paz. So that is for our first year and second year. More than that one, the first year and the second year can also plant, although it is not a tree, it's a grass, bamboo, along the Labot River. So it's the first year and the second year. And our fourth year and all of the graduating are required to go in Huyuhoy. That one is according to Mambet. And we have gone through Pantaon sa Labot River bank and also to the Lapang and Gingat sa mga river banks na. So maybe out of that scenario that we have from LaSalle, we can revise the proposed ordinance by our dearest Honorable Sakin. This one is really noble. We really appreciate this one, but maybe delineation of the task is very important, and then maybe categorization to asa lang tama ang atong grade school, asa lang tama ang atong high school, asa tama ang college. And then somehow pwede po natin siya ma-extend nga katong dili lang jud siya ingon na atong i-require na to si graduating, pero dili na to siya himuon nga dili kapaso tungod kay wala siya katanong. So once again, I would also just like to correct also the stand of LaSalle is not really opposing this one. We are not opposing. We love tree planting, and that is right, Ma'am Gran. I agree with Ma'am Gran. Bisag inyo pa ng panaugon o mapangpang ang among mga estudyante, Kuya Dondon Guangco knew it already na he is with us when we go to the river banks. Kanang bisag pangpang na kayo, the CDRRMO is with us, the DNR is with us going down to that river. But before that one, before I will end also, maulang niya mong nakitaan nga pwede po natin nga ma-enhance ang atong policy. One, I agree with ULT. Ang sa among dalapang nga area, ang nahitabo is gipangaon og mga kabaw, baka, kabayo, o kanding. Sa dalapang pa dyan na area, ang nahitabo is we failed to check with the planning. We failed to check with the planning nga ang quarry area bitaw nato sir kay pataas na bitaw. So ang nahitabo is ang among ipangtanong diadto sa kana bitong daplin sa suba, Mr. Chair, when we try to recheck and monitor, because it's not only planting at Lasal, we are actually monitoring it. Wala namin ma-monitor kay nakuha naman na expound man gamay ang quarry diadto sa taas. That is why, if we have this kind of ordinance and you give us the proper place where we have to plant, the manpower is actually available. We are available to plant. We just want that everything must be put in order and in place. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your information. Thank you for your availability. Shout out Kapitan Dumon sa Dalapang. Nawala man. Hintago pag imunisya ng Robes na. We're also from Kapitan Tulik. Before, after that, Kapitan Honorable Lin. Tulik, you have the floor. Kapitan Rosal. Obtain po.
Hello, may hapon, Honorable Chair. Sa akong aming proponent, aming activity, Honorable John Sake. Ang ato agad kasi yun ang tanayado, pero ang pinaka-importante yun, ato i-identify through sa mga kapitan, ang strategic atong tamnan. Kaya ang seeds given naman daan, igo na bang may tanong, muna kini mga kapitan, tagaan ni tahas, i-identify, katong mga lugar, ang may tamnan, ato i-consolidate, katong strategic ang ihatag na to sa proponent, ang honorable sa akin. Muna na dayon na yan, tanong. Ato sa i-identify first. Kaya para makita na to, kung asa na pinato itanong, kung sa doon sa dili, muna ngayon mo strategic. Kaya para yun na siya ma-realize kini yung ordinance. Guwapo kayo yung ordinance. Kini mo ikaw maon sa mga bata.
Thank you, Kap. Your suggestion is good and timely. We now hear Honorable Lin for her remarks, observations.
Thank you, Honorable Marcelian. This representation would like to express its appreciation to the proponent, Honorable Juanito Sakin, for pushing or passing this proposed ordinance environmentally responsive measure. However, after listening carefully with the manifestation of our Department of Education and private institution, I would respectfully express my agreement to their position that some of the provision of this proposed ordinance is punitive in nature, and also punitive in nature, particularly in mandating the requirements on the graduating students. In this regard, I would like also to propose, instead of passing an ordinance na mo-overlap or encroach with our national education policies, we may adapting and institutionalizing the National Greenery Program of the DENR and having a formal partnership through a city resolution. So since considering the risk of illegalities and also the risk of our students and technicalities, that's all. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Lin. We will have more discussion on that on our plenary during our session. We'll hear also from Honorable Ding Siso. You have the floor, Honorable Ding.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. I have 7 points to consider regarding the manifestations that we have here this afternoon, Mr. Chair. First, to the DepEd, I don't think all our institutions here, including both the public and the private, had any objections to this novel ordinance that we are introducing. Only that ang ako lang yung na substance sa DepEd is more on punitive measures lang or exclusionary ang mga manner nga ato ang gi-introduce. Ang ilaha is nanong ato amang tagaan o kanang penalties nga magkanon ra man kahatang tanan. Well, I see the point nga if we are all committed to this kanang ato ang pagpananong, I don't think nga mahadlok ta sa punitive measures. Kay kini bitaw among mga kapitan, amo man ang kasuan kung dili maglimpyo kay tungod ning taas ang dengue. Hangtod nawala ang dengue, wala na kaso, wala man may kasuan nga kapitan. Kay because although wala sila nadlok sa punitive, but because there's a measure, ang ordinance itself, naka-ignite lang nila ba, naka-kuryente lang niya nga trabaho yun ko. Pero wala yung kasuan because na zero man ang dengue. Pareha ko na sa mas, nga 10,000 ang dili magsulog og mas. Napagumi kasuan, wala. Because nga nung magpaabot man ka mga kasuan tag 10,000 or mapinatin tag 10,000 na willing man ka magmas. Same with the punitive measure nga itong gi-introduce sa ining ordinansa ha. Nga di ba, wala na kay plano mananong, kay mahadlo ka penaltihan. Nga nung magkaso man migskwilahan, nga nung among makasuan ang kapitan nga wala ka monitor kung nananong lang ta. So the punitive measures are the last resort at hand. So dili na ito nakahadlukan. Kaya kitang talang committed man ta. More yun ang word ni pangayo is commitment, partnership. Wala man din hiniingon, di mi mananong. Mananong man tang tanan kay kitang tanan, this is everybody's business. Nagiingon pa sa PNP, this is everybody's concern. Kitang tanan ang mabulahan, dili lang kita, kundi ang sunod nga generation. Kaya basig, ang sunod nato, ato ra ba ning gihulman sa itong generation, wala na'y matagamtaman kay puro na climate nga kuan, problema nga ilahang na sinati. Munang punitive measures, nothing to worry about. Kaya ang ordinance will not be an ordinance without penalty clause. Maura yun na. Resolution na yun na kung wala tayo penalty clause. Munang ay mong kaguol, ay mong kabalaka ni punitive because these are just the last resort. O dili po may magpakapoy kay magkaso, dugay pa kay mahuman, kalas pa kay stressful po kay anxiety sa among part. Just do our job. Let's just be committed nga magtanong and everything will go on smoothly. Kaya I think more again akong nakita. The next kanang concern nga akong i-raise is kining mandatory. Ma'am, we will not be making it mandatory because if you have commitment, if you already made us our partner, the mandatory is just kanang imagination. Kay kitang tanan gusto man jud mananong. And then, I think for the revision lang sa atong ordinance, ato sigurong i-slash from tree planting / growing. Kaya sa ginaingon na, basindot na sa pulo, na isa rin mabuhi. So we must maintain the growing until butangan ba na nato tree guard, butangan na nato monitor ng kapitan, din si punitive musulod nga, pwede nga si kapitan, wala man niya, bisan na lang, dili pwede magpigway baka kay nangakuan na gipangkaon ang gipangtanong nato. So dina nga part pwede mo sulod si punitive part. Pero other than that, ang dili pagtanong ang kay mutanong ng tanan wala ta siguro kasuan. And also, I also like to ask the DNR regarding their assessment katong nahumana ba nato ma'am kay naaman gyud tay kinahanglan i-focus kay ginaingon na nila nga naaman gyud tay area nga kining area ha, dapat kamna ni kini nga watershed, kini nga bakilid, dapat dinita mo focus kay dinhi atong problema. I think they already had that report para kung naay tree planting activity, mga yung permit ni Mayor, si Mayor mo coordinate ni DNR, si DNR pud moingon na kining mga tanuma, kining mga area ha, ang dapat natong i-conduct dinhi, i-focus, i-target, i-centralize, i-maximize, i-massive ang atong pagtanong dinhi kikinanglan dinhi area ha ang tabang. So I think the DNR could provide that. And finally, Mr. Chair, katong idle land na ginaingon sa mga kapitan nga naay mga private owners na dili mosugot nga tamna na. So may pasabot, Mr. Chair, kay salit private lang siya, bakante siya, dili na lang pwede tamnan, di sila tag-iya. I think maybe we could impose para sa ato ang kanabit ng paghatag ng clearance kinamantay idle land idle land tax nga ato silang pabayron buwis kung dili sila mananom, maybe we could include put or add nga before nato sila i-clear kinahanglan na agi kung agricultural manggaling na ilang idle land dapat na ay tanong katong trees pwede nato ipagsulod ning ordinance ha para gyud na dili kaingon nga amo ng private mo pwede katanong din nga kay ako'y tag-iya because it does not help with the community with the climate change kay because sila tag-iya di na lang ta pwede manghilabot kay walay gitanong. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
Honorable Siso, your remarks and inputs are all on the record and will take in. We'll now hear from Honorable Jan Pinilonso for your observations.
Thank you, Honorable Presiding Officer. First and foremost, this representation would like to agree to the comments of sa mga nakadayang eskwelahan sa Ozamis with regards on the proposed ordinance of Councilor Junjun Sakil sa mandatory aspect sa ordinansa and na-mention ka ganina nga maglain po nga kining dili ka graduate tungod kay wala lang nakatanong og kahoy. Anyway, ma-discussan na in some point. Mr. Chair, my first clarification lang, I would like to address to the DepEd Ozamis. We have Ma'am Marlene Villa, Mr. Chair, with regards on section 8.4 na mention kaganina ni Ma'am Arlene sa ilang position paper signed by SDS with regards sa mga ahalang kutob ang power and ahalang kutob ang kanang jurisdiction sa tong SDS. Gusto lang ako mapalawman gamay, Mr. Chair. Yan ang pagsabot lang to the DepEd. Kini unsay comment with regards to section 8.4 sa the SDS shall impose disciplinary action against non-compliant school principal and or teacher, and section 8.3 the administrative relief, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Ma'am Arlene, before you respond, I missed this one. Please furnish copy of your position paper to the secretary. Thank you, ma'am. I know you are always willing. Nalimut na mo ganyan hangin mo. So thank you, ma'am. You may now respond to the query of Honorable Delonsod.
Hello. Good afternoon again, Mr. Chair. As regards, this is just to make things clear, lest it be misunderstood that DepEd Ozamis City is against this ordinance. No, we have been conducting activities in the past. In fact, we have our own project, Earth Care, implemented within the 58 schools of the division of Ozamis City and conducted in partnership with our city, Enro. As to the question, Mr. Chair, on section 8.4, administrative sanctions are imposed herein. If this is correct, Councilor Duhay Lungsod, the SDS shall impose disciplinary action against non-compliant school principal and or teacher. Let me bring to your attention again that the disciplining authority for teaching and non-teaching personnel is not within the jurisdiction of the school's division superintendent. It is with the regional director. Thus, if we are referring to this ordinance, there are portions of the ordinance that cannot be implemented or must be polished or must be reworded, particularly on the enforcement and sanctions. The SDS, let me bring back, I was talking with our DILG officer. The committee handling this is the TP Execom of which the chairperson is the mayor and the vice chair is the schools division superintendent. Therefore, in deciding as to the imposition of administrative sanctions, it cannot rest with the vice chair. It has to be decided by the chair, the committee chair. Okay, that's one case in point. Number two, as I have already elucidated earlier on with the position paper of Onetv, a non-compliant student, this is on 8.4.2. A non-compliant student is required to present certificate of compliance from City Enro to the school concerned prior granting release of school credentials. Let me just say that this cannot be done. Aside from, this is impossible to be implemented because authority over school records rests. The school credentials are issued and controlled by schools under the Department of Education. And the LGU does not have custodial authority and control over these records. We cannot hold or withheld the release of records of our graduating children learners just because wala sila nakabayad og PTA, nakabayad og floor wax. Lest it be dili pwede nga dili pag-graduate ton. Withholding credentials can impede a learner's right to continue education and seek employment. It is more than being punitive. A local requirement unrelated to academic performance is generally not a valid ground to block credentials. Mr. Chair, that's the stand of the Department of Education. Maybe we can refine, polish, and before implementing this very good ordinance, is we can take a look at all the sides that's been said this afternoon, so we can take a look and study. We can make feasibility study for this ordinance to be implemented in by phases. First phase is identification of planting sites with the involvement of the 51 barangays from Ozamis. They will submit planting sites from their barangays. We will also coordinate with our schools, whichever is nearer to the barangays in the schools where we are, where the children are going to. In coordination also with our City Enro for the supply of seedlings. It can be done by phases. And I would just raise my reservations into the manifestation of a private school head na i-exempt na to ang grade 6. The public schools can also say, nganong dili lang sa tertiary, i-exempt lang pud me nga grade 6 and grade 12. No. We have to do this together. But it must be done with foremost feasibility study, whichever is most applicable for all the sectors of society in Ozami City. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Ma'am Arlene. The chair, of course, is aware that we need more discussions on this proposed ordinance. Dako pa kaya itong kailangan i-diskuter kay we need more time. No? Kaya as I said, from the very beginning, this ordinance is extensive. Dako kay coverage pa, I spoke. So, I've heard from my colleagues of their initial comments and remarks. The chair reserves his inputs during the hearing na sa among session sa PRA. Secondly na ako nang i-reserve ako mga inputs kaya we have limited time. It's already 4:20. So, but I cannot let this public hearing pass without allowing our sponsor to give his initial response. Of course, I know that we cannot respond to all the statements, my positions of all who give the remarks, no? Hindi niya ma-respondan. I will allow the sponsor to give his initial response to the various statements being interposed in this public hearing. So, I will give the floor now to Honorable Sakin to give his initial response to the statements he heard a while ago. Honorable Sakin, you have the floor.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. And thank you also to all the stakeholders, institutions, and the legal and mga barangays, business sectors, to our lively discussions on the proposed ordinance, Honorable Chair. So all the suggestions, all the insights, and all the inputs is duly noted, Honorable Chair. But, Honorable Chair, I would like to request the LaSalle University, the Spanish University, and all the schools to give us a position paper, Honorable Chair, to refine and to polish the proposed ordinance, to include the inputs, Honorable Chair, in order to conceptualize the legality of the proposed ordinance, Honorable Chair. And also the legal ng mga barangay, Honorable Chair, especially to the President, the legal Chairman, Honorable Gigi Canlas, to give us a position paper, Honorable Chair, regarding the opinions from the punong barangays, no? Sa ilang mga eksperyensya sa ilang mga barangays na ipangtamnan, na adunay mga pahitabo, aron dili nga mahitabo, ang mahitabo before, Honorable Chair. So, I know na layo-layo ko yun ang maabtan. Taas pa ang diskusyon sa maong ordinansa, but I really positive, no? I heard the inputs na wala mong negative. No? Naala sila yung mga suggestion, Honorable Chair, regarding sa ordinance. So, I really appreciate, no, the suggestion, Honorable Chair. But we will wait, the committee, Honorable Chair, will wait the position paper from the schools, Honorable Chair, in these coming days for further study and to incorporate their inputs, Honorable Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Sakin. Thank you, Arlen, for giving copy of your position paper to our secretary. Please put this copy, secretary, to all the members of these committees, all the councillors, including the vice mayor, about the position paper of the aid. No, there's an appeal from the sponsor to all stakeholders to submit your creative position paper. So, kindly write, no, it's too much to us, no, sa atong mga stakeholders, mga imposition paper as represented by the author, para ayang proseduran, kindly secretary, kindly send communications to official communications to all the public schools, no, requesting for their position paper on the ordinance para proseduran di lang sa author, ni tanang members sa committee, tanang konsyal sa member city council para proseduran, o also sa atong ABC Federation to ABC President Honorable Gigi Canlas kalibog sila, all stakeholders, ang atong public schools, sa malain, si una mo gani, if you may mamagran, if you submit, please do so. If not, you can submit just your remarks, no? Official remarks sa DNR. So, kindly send communication also to the Sino Mamagran, no? And other stakeholders whom may help us to review further this proposed ordinance of Onetv. So, we have had a very lively discussion on this ordinance. We hope we could do the same in next time in same forum kung naman ganyan atong isitihan. My colleagues are reserving their comments, remarks, relations on our session because only after public hearing we'll have a committee report and we'll hear the committee report and we'll adapt it if we find it in order. After adapting it, I will schedule this for the as the major project, I will schedule for the second reading na sa among session. Dito namin mag-debate na po sa among discussion, sa among debate. Amo nang i-appeal ninyo ang mga inputs ikan sa politiko sa ng stakeholders. That will be the one that will happen to the flow of our discussion on this proposal ordinance of Onetv. So, at this juncture, I would like to acknowledge the presence of everybody, our very respected guests, valuable guests, no? Atong DepEd, represented by Ma'am Arlene, always here around, mga Panginoon sa DepEd, dahil Ma'am Arlene, ang atong mga public schools, no? Naayod. I hope you continue supporting us, that whenever we invite you to public hearing, which to have your concerns being given to us, hinaot lang ang mahiga po mo. Pero sa hearing and give us your inputs para magiyahan na tao na atong memo sa Konseho. O atong si Ma'am Gran, always here, atong mga police, thank you ma'am for coming, no? And the stakeholders, public schools, salamat kayo. Please air to your president or your school head niya. Salamat kayo atong City Council for your cooperation and collaboration sa atong gihimo karon nga public hearing. Mga kapitan, thank you kayo sa inyong maganayon nga pasuporta, no? Thank you very much. Ang atong mga candidates, we have our legal officer, Atty. Salita, we have from City Officer, ang atong CMO Officer, Director ng Dako, na atong CPDO, na Demengado. Salamat kayo sa iyong apel, no? The City Council wish to express its thanks, no? Heartfelt thanks sa mga sa hearing. I know you are very busy, all of us are very busy, yet you devote your valuable time for this public hearing today. Salamat kayo. The public hearing is now adjourned.